13de.
I see you're on your feet.
I suppose that's where I'm supposed to be. My Lord, thank you. Before I start discussing the way forward, I would just like to address the court on the following and hear the court's view thereon. There is a narrative doing the rounds that this court made certain rulings on the points raised by accused number 17, those 5 or 6 points in a plea, that the court made rulings thereon.
I didn't.
Yes, that is indeed how I understood the judgment, and because the whole world is now saying that the states, the prosecutors and the police and everybody acted unlawfully, and that was a finding by the court.
That is incorrect, Mr. Nason. I simply read out the whole special plea as it was contained in Exhibit 5.
I thank the court, that is how we understood it, but the press doesn't see it that way.
Yes, but the press will soon see it otherwise, because that whole judgment is now in the process of being transcribed. And we hope, and I believe, that the transcript will be available tomorrow.
Thank you, my Lord.
And then it will appear clearly from that transcript what this court has said, and it will appear that the court simply quoted from the special plea itself.
That is how, indeed, how we saw it.
Yes.
Then, thank you, my Lord. Then further, my Lord, the state is supposed to start calling witnesses in the main trial from here on. However, the state requests a postponement until next week in Friday for the purposes of, firstly, getting the written or typed judgment. Furthermore, discussing it with all our superiors and certain counsel to decide the way forward. The prima facie view is that we shall appeal this judgment with respect, either by joining the Schultz matter, which is already before the Constitutional Court on appeal by the state, or alternatively by approaching the SCA, because we are of the view that the facts in this matter and the Schultz matter differs. So the Supreme Court of Appeal could come to another decision in this matter. But we will bring a complete and thorough application for leave to appeal very shortly. We cannot do that, my Lord, without a postponement. It was contemplated that we might continue with the trial against the rest of the accused, but the problem is that in our view, right or wrong, accused number 17 forms an integral part of the case against the bigger case. So if we win such an appeal, then she can be added again. Once we start leaving evidence, we cannot do that. Then we will have to prosecute her in a separate trial, which is not conducive. It has huge cost implications and so forth and so forth. So, with all due respect, we request a postponement until next Friday.
Yes. I note what you say, Mr. Nason, but before we decide finally on that, I would like everybody to get the diaries at hand, because I think the time has come now to try and plot the further conduct of this case, so that we can see where we stand. It is the 4th of June today, and I see on the program that this matter has been set down firstly until the end of the second term. Now the end of the second term is 20 June, Friday 20 June. My first question to everybody present is there any problem? Should we continue until the 20th of June? Thank you. Then I also see that this matter has also been set down for the last week of the recess. That is how it appears on the program. It was circulated here in the High Court some time ago.
No, my lord, I hope it doesn't come from my office. But no, this is the first time we hear about it. It was definitely not arranged in court.
I see shaking heads as far as I see. So I can take it for granted that the last week of the recess is out. It's not
Correct.
possible.
Correct.
I'm glad to hear that because I'm also not available.
I appreciate that.
I have postponed another criminal trial to be heard in the last week of the recess, but that was before this case was allocated to me. And only when this case was allocated to me, I saw on the program, but this case is supposed to proceed in the last week of the recess, so the other criminal case has to get preference because at that stage I've already postponed it. So I think we must then forget about the last week of the recess as far as this case is concerned.
Indeed.
Now, I know that we have many counsel, attorneys and so forth involved in this case, but I have to find out if there are any weeks or any days at least in the third term that we can use for the continuation of this trial. And then I want to know, the third term begins on 21 July and the first week is then 21 July to 25 July. Is there anybody who won't be able to attend to this case on those dates?
So, my lord, I'm committed to the High Court from the 21st of July to the end of the beginning of August.
Only that one day?
The 21st.
Only that one day?
Although the 21st is 10 days from the 21st.
Is it a part-heard matter?
Yes, Lord.
My lord, I also have problems, I can tell you, Lordship. I have a matter at Portwood in East London. My juniors got matters as well, because by virtue of this matter, we've all, and I understand the state's in the same position, pushed all our other matters into the third and the fourth term of this year, which is a major problem. I envisage a problem for the entirety of this year, I can assure you. And I understand it's quite a common feature, with respect.
Yes, well, thank you, Mr. Otis. But I have to make sure, because it is important for me to make progress with this case and show some sort of progress by the end of the year at least. But we will see if we can do so. I'm looking now at the second week of, you may be seated, thank you, Mr. Otis. The second week of the third term, that is the week of 28 July to 1 August. I'm not available, unfortunately, because I have a apartheid civil matter that comes on during that week. The week following that one is the week of 4 August to 8 August. As things now stand, I'm available during that week. Is there anybody who won't be available?
My Lord, I've got a 2-month trial starting in that week in Pretoria, and unfortunately some of the accused are in custody and have been in custody for a substantial period.
I see. In other words, the week of 4 to 8 August is out of the question.
So that would certainly put me out until the beginning of October.
Yes.
And then all the hangover cases from the last few months unfortunately take up the rest of the year, certainly in my case, and I'm sure many of my colleagues are in a similar position as well.
Yes. And then the next week is then 11 August to 15 August. And the following week is 18 August to 22 August. Now both those weeks I'm not available, unfortunately, because I'm sitting in a apartheid civil matter that's been set down for 2 weeks. Then we get to the week of 25 August to 29 August. Now, you've indicated, sir, that you won't be available in any...
Not till the end of September.
Yes. And then I move on to the week of 1 September to 5 September, and the week following that is the week of 8 September to 12 September. Both those weeks I'm out of the equation. I'm sitting in a apartheid criminal matter in Welkom, so I won't be able to attend. And then we have 1 week left before the term ends on 19 September, but then, sir, you are still out of the matter. And then we're looking at the 4th term. The 4th term begins on 6 October. Is there a possibility?
I'm tied up, my Lord, in that term. I have a trial that's running. I have one matter from the 6th to the 10th of October, then I have a trial in the Cape High Court, Western Cape High Court, that's set down for the 4th term.
That is for the week of 6 October.
Yeah, from 13 October to 4 December. That's my trial.
Well, that would cancel any hope for proceeding with this matter during the 4th term. Well, as things now stand, can I request all council to try and see if they can keep at least the 1st term of next year open as far as they can, so that we can proceed with this case.
My Lord, I have a matter only in the 1st week. I'm available from, that starts on the 19th of January. I've got a matter that I've been reserved in advance for, but from the 2nd week of the 1st term I'm available for the entirety of the year. I don't know the position.
Please remain available.
Well, if we arrange a date now, then I'll be locked up.
Well, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I don't know, my Lord, whether I can speak through my lawyers, because the state has always been saying they are ready. It looks like we don't have rights, because now and then, even if you meet next year, it's going to be another postponement. They said they are ready. Out in the public, it's us wasting time.
Yes.
And it's costly for us.
Mr. Magashule, unfortunately, we have to plot the road forward, and it is not only the prosecution that may have some problems, but also defense counsel have problems in the near future, and then more importantly this court has problems because other cases has been allocated to it. There's absolutely nothing that I can do about it, but I take note of what you are saying. So my request remains the same, and that is please all counsel try and arrange your business in such a way that we can make use of at least the first term of next year.
My Lord, just to play on the side of caution, the first week of that term that we are identifying, I could possibly be engaged, depending on what transpired in the matter of State vs. Makudumana, which has been placed on the roll provisionally in that week, if I'm not mistaken, my Lord. Depending, I wouldn't want to put the cart before the horse, lest it trips. But provisionally, it was placed on the roll for that week, depending on what transpired on the next term when we commence with that matter.
Yes, thank you. So you're in the same boat as Mr. Houdis for that.
Indeed,
Yes.
My Lord, myself and Mr. Skuman is in a worse boat than Mr. Houdis for the first term next year, to the extent that we're involved in a trial that's running that whole term in the Johannesburg High Court.
Yes, you will unfortunately have to get rid of that. Thank you. Anybody else?
My Lord, I have the same predicament. I'm not available for the week of 2nd February until 20th February. I call it trial, it is already set up.
Yes, maybe you should also put out feelers to see if you can shirk that case to someone else. Because it seems to me that most of us will be able to proceed as from the second week of the first term next year. Mr. Denison, I haven't heard anything from the state.
We're ready.
You're ready?
Yeah, those states will suit us.
Yes, but do you realize that we have logistical problems that you cannot imagine with so many legal representatives with other obligations as well?
Yes, that is unfortunately a fact of life. We have counsel from all over, so with busy schedules, I don't think we can do anything about it. So.
Fine.
Lord, I say this sort of tongue-in-cheek, but there's a degree of seriousness to it. We've been in this matter for 6 weeks. The first witness has still not gotten the bond. There's another remedy that is available, and that's simply to refuse the postponement. And as I said, I say it tongue-in-cheek, with a degree of tongue-in-cheek, but the ramifications for the accused are immense. And we're certainly getting lots of pressure from our clients because of this situation.
I realize that.
Thank
I
you.
realize that.
Well, Lord, on a separate issue, but related, if I may, what I want to do, just correct, if I may, my Lord, in the Schultz matter, leave to appeal has not as yet been granted to the Constitutional Court. It was proceeded with, then it was withdrawn. Now, as I understand the position, my Lord, there's an application to reinstate it. So the order stands as your Lordship ruled in your Lordship's judgment. So I think that could also add to some uncertainty. Similarly, if I may also clarify, my Lord, we were never told of that additional week that your Lordship referred to. We've been in the matter since inception, so I think it's an error on the roll with respect. Over and above that, We were told that this matter would run till the 23rd, which is incorrect because it was premised on last year's calendar. So I think that everybody's in agreement it was to the 20th, as your Lordship said. And the proposal would be, my Lord, that it might be safer to make it, to postpone this matter to the second term of next year, or the third term, where everybody's clear. I'm available, my position remains the same, my Lord. From the 26th of January I'm available, but I'm just taking cognizance of my learned friends because it seemed to be a problem. Whereas if we went to a definite date, say the third term, then there wouldn't be a problem. But I know it's a long time away from now. And I take cognizance of my own client's address to your Lordship as well.
I don't even have a diary for next year.
I'm the same, I'm busy scribbling on the back pages of my diary.
When is the first week of...
The first term commences, my Lord, on the 19th of January. That's the week that I have a week-long class. I would have been saying the 26th, but it runs until the 26th of March. Then the second term, I'll get it from my... Second term is 13th of April. 13th of April until the 19th of June, and then the third term.
Yes, it's not necessary to look any further. Could you be so kind to indicate to me what are the dates of the second week of the first term?
26th of January. I can hand to the Lordship from the state your plan, and it's easier to see for 2026.
Thank you, Mr. Well, as far as the main trial is concerned, it seems to me we sit in the unfortunate position that we won't be able to proceed before 26 January next year. Am I correct?
That would be my position, my Lord. My colleagues have a different view.
Yes, we've sorted out their position. I'm sorry about the gentleman. I may be causing huge inconvenience, but we are under immense pressure to proceed with these proceedings and dispose of it. This trial cannot go on and on for the next 10 years. I won't allow that. So we will have to make amends if necessary. So it seems to me that as a first step, we will have to postpone the main trial to 26 January 2026 and for further hearing during the rest of the first term. Mr. Houders, here is your book. But then I have a request from the state, Mr. De Nijssen, that we stand down till Friday, because you want to consider a possible appeal against yesterday's judgment.
That is correct. Next week on Friday.
Next week.
The 13th. Because we are 90% certain that the appeal should follow, and by that time we want to be ready to file papers for application for leave to appeal. Not waste any further time.
So you think that we will be able to hear the application for leave to appeal on the, what date?
The 13th.
But certainly the rest of the accused and their legal representatives won't be required to be here on that day.
No one.
They have no business with your possible appeal.
Indeed.
So, do you agree with me, Mr. Nason, that unfortunately I will have to postpone this trial to 26 January 2026? And for the rest of the first term next year, and I will postpone your application to the 13th of June, that is Friday in a week's time.
As it is.
And you say you are 90% sure that you will bring such an application, but if you don't in the end, you can just let me know, or you can appear here in court and tell the court that you're not proceeding.
I shall be here.
All up to you.
I shall be here. Maybe just a suggestion, my lord, that we take a part of the second term as well next year. I know that's difficult, but at least half of the second term. That will ensure that we get very, very further.
Yes, well, we're not going to finish this case in the first term next year, as I see it.
Indeed.
And that.
But I'm in the court's hands.
No, that is only a suggestion. I cannot force everybody to also be available during the second term next year. But I can suggest, please, if it is possible, keep it in the back of your minds that the first term we will proceed with this matter, and at least the first half of the second term next year. Please try not to take on other matters or to postpone other matters for those dates.
Thank you.
Thank you.
May I indicate that I'm engaged in the Northern Cape High Court for the whole of March month, my lord. So I'll be available from the 26th of January up to the end of February, my lord. So I'm already engaged in the Patriot matter in Kimberley.
In Kimberley?
Yes, ma'am.
In the High Court?
In the High Court, my lord. It's the Patriot matter.
I don't know why people are laughing. I'm not saying anything. Well, I think we will come back to that question at the beginning of next year. You never know what will happen to your case there, whether it will proceed. There are many things that we don't know, but we will come back to it next year, as long as we know now that we're going to postpone to 26 January.
That's the purpose.
Thank you. I then make the following order. The main proceedings in this trial are postponed to 26 January 2026, and for the remainder of the first term of 2026, and possibly at least for the first half of the second term of 2026. On 26 January 2026 at 9:30 in the morning, and their bail is extended accordingly on the same conditions. The matter of a possible application for leave to appeal by the state against the judgment of this court dated 3 June 2025 is postponed to 13 June 2025 at 9:30 in the morning. Thank you, gentlemen. Mr. Machshule.
So, my Lord, on the 26th, because if we don't come, obviously our bail conditions will be drawn. But the state has an advantage all the time. They are the ones requesting postponement. Are we really sitting? Will the witnesses be there? Or are we going to come again and sit for 30 minutes and they ask for another postponement.
No, Mr. Magashule, I won't allow that. The matter has been postponed to 26 January, and I will expect the state to proceed on that day with whatever evidence they want to present. If they don't, they will have to provide a very good explanation for not doing so. Gentlemen, I realize it's a bit early, but may you all have a happy Christmas and happy New Year.
All right.